Hello, I wanted to talk to you today about transdermal magnesium and cramps. Cramps is probably one of the biggest buzzwords for this product as far as sales go. A lot of people come for that. It was basically one of the biggest products to hit the high level sports market because they immediately saw the value. Sports people are usually high magnesiophiles. They're consuming so much of it, it's coming out through the sweat glands all the time as they train, and so they're very quick to buy these type of products just naturally, and so we don't have much resistance there in understanding the need for it. But when it gets back down to the general public, that's where people kind of maybe see that they don't know if they need it yet, and so they haven't really become aware of this reality that the soil does not have magnesium in it. So all the food we're eating, from Parmesan cheese on down to the almonds to everything, is having 80% less magnesium in it than it did in the 20s and 30s. This alarm was sounded in the American Congress in 1930 already about the soil, and so we're far beyond where we were then when we were trying to pay attention to the soil. So now we're getting to a cracking point where we need to find a way to bring magnesium into the body in a healthy way, which doesn't hurt the kidneys or destabilize any functions. So the transdermal way is that way. Now, for cramps, you apply it directly. A lot of people have instant relief on the cramp. Some people, it takes weeks of them applying it for that cramp to completely work itself out. There's even studies out on the fact that cramps may be due to a dermal deficiency of magnesium. Even the Spartan soldiers, were famous for using the waters of magnesia, and they would use these waters, put them on their skin, etc. There was actually some anecdotes from history about this, and so people have already known about this. This goes back a long time, but we're just trying to bring this back in a modern format. Now, how does it work? So the cramp is basically an acid residue, toxin, endocrine disruptor, something in the tissue, of its own, like what's being exited from the tissue, that gets stuck or needs assistance in getting out. So you have the muscle has this potassium magnesium pump, and this is pumping and allowing for the muscle to detoxify. The detoxification of it is the release of the cramp, and so a lot of that detoxification goes out through all the emunctories. But one of the biggest is through the skin. Like some of the magnesium is attaching itself to that acid residue, or chelating the toxin, or chelating the aluminum or the heavy metal, or whatever it is, the endocrine disruptor, and then it's bringing it out through the sweat glands. It's like deconjugating it as it comes out. And so this is a very interesting process of detoxification through the skin, and a high level of magnesium levels are needed to maintain this level of detoxification. Most people don't even detoxify anything. They leave it all in there. And then when they hit the third age, or, they get older, their immune system can't fight it back anymore, and they end up becoming medically enslaved to tons of different medicines. And, we know the story. We all have that's where we're at today. So we're trying to find a way out of this. And even though this was focusing more on cramps, you can't disconnect cramps from detoxification. There's a connection there. So using it for cramps, using it for menstrual cramps can be radical. We have a lot of women that come in, that call in or send us mail about how quickly they have some relief there for the cramp. Now, of course, there's other factors in all these cramps too. There's can be potassium, there can be actual GLA and different types of oils that are missing from the diet, and so there's a lot of other factors. But magnesium is the first factor to address. After you start with the most basic, the one that makes the most sense on all levels, and then you kind of work your way to the more specific. So anyway, this is only about $12 a month. You can find it at our website. We only use glass bottles. We're the original from the source in Zechstein with the trademark from Vendam. We tell you the name of the city. We are totally transparent about everything, and nobody else will ever tell you what city they get anything from, because most of it comes from Asia and it's remarketed, and they have their own self-certified seals and logos and all that stuff. So we have a trademark, and we're from Vendam. So, or at least our source is. The company is American, the Heart of Tradition, but the source itself is in Holland, and we use glass bottles. So come check us out at theheartoftradition.com.